I am a product of what I was taught and how I understood it. I don't know if I understood it correctly in the beginning. That is to say, I don't know if I understood what they were teaching me correctly. I understood what I heard, and I understood what I saw. And consequently, I formed my own beliefs. But there's two systems that you're taught, or I was taught. One is a religious belief. And the religious belief, according to what I was taught, was that we're all brothers and sisters, and that we should care about one another, and that we should not be prejudiced or racist or bigoted, but that we should express love for one another. And then I was taught how to be a capitalist, and that was to look out for number one, to care about me, to acquire, to gather, to provide for me and those that I cared about. And that was primarily the immediate family, or who you might have had feelings for, friends or friends outside of your family. But the two philosophies conflicted in a lot of ways, because one said, don't do this, like for example, kill. Well, the religious concept says don't kill, but the capitalist concept says gather and acquire. Fact of the matter is, if you have more than you need, you have somebody else's. And if you have somebody else's, you have to protect what you have from them, because they're going to want it. So you have to raise your army. You have to protect what you have. And you create laws to keep them from taking what you have. Direct conflict with the spiritual teachings. And the spiritual teachings do the same thing. They acquire and gather. And the Catholic Church, of which I was educated in, conspired with the Nazis in order to survive. They thought it was their duty to survive. I mean, their teacher, their founder, gave up its life rather than denied his convictions and beliefs. And yet the church that said it was founded on the beliefs and convictions of this individual acquiescence. They turned a blind eye to the behavior of some individuals in order to survive. Now, I'm glad they did, because otherwise they wouldn't have been here, at least in their present form when I was born, and I learned their beliefs. But I know it was difficult to live with the two different philosophies that conflicted. Which is right? And you want to be an American and look out and be number one. Sometimes you had to compromise yourself. And by compromising yourself, you begin losing yourself. And then surviving becomes more important than being real. I remember when I used to start studying Buddhism, and I'd go to the mosque, the ashram, and they'd ask me what I was wanting to do, and I was saying I wanted to right the wrongs that I saw. And they were repelled, and they said, no, that can't be done. You must withdraw. You must take your ego out of play. You must forget about the world. And I couldn't do that. I didn't feel right about giving up my ego. I felt that everything was just the way it was the way it's supposed to be, except we weren't doing it correctly. I mean, I can't see any harm in having an ego. But I can see getting carried away with my ego. I couldn't see it when I first learned about it, but I see it now. If you have more than you need, then you have someone else's. And that goes for every aspect of life. If you have pleasures more than you need, then you have somebody else's. If you have education more than you need, then you have somebody else's. If you have material wealth more than you need, then you have somebody else's. And then what are you going to do? Are you going to set yourself up against them? Are you going to create all kinds of caste system reasons for keeping yourself separate from them? Are you going to say you believe in goodness and righteousness, but still do this kind of stuff when it is the source of the problem? I don't think it's right. I don't think it's correct. And just because you're not an extreme capitalist, if you are a part of the system and you are a part of what the system does and you agree with the system, I don't know how you're going to rectify justifying your behavior. I mean, in Nuremberg, the individual that said, well, all I did was count them getting off the bus or the train, and I don't think I'm guilty of being tried as a war criminal or as a blemish at humanity. But the fact is that if we even just allow the system to go on and to take from your brothers and sisters, then you are justifying the system. You are allowing the system to continue and to be what it does. There is no little wrongs. Wrongs are wrongs. We have to start seeing things that way. We can't just keep saying, I'm nobody. I got to just take care of what I can take care of. But I sure don't like the way things are.